Welcome to Why They Play the Game, a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I'm just one of your co-hosts, Michael Eric Owens.
And I'm Ken Hayes.
Hey, my brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Mike. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing better since last night. We got a lot to discuss, folks. We are talking about the NBA Emirates Cup. The Milwaukee Bucks are the winner of the cup, folks. Listen, I know you excited like we are. Go ahead, hit that like, that subscribe button, and me and Ken are gonna get into this
Yeah.
thing. Ken, woo, man, let's talk. First of all, Ken, let's talk about the cup. How do you feel about the cup in general?
I mean, I think it was a good thing that the NBA put a little, let's call it a little mini tournament into the, season.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the thing that I like, most of the players that's on the bench, they don't make let's just say a whole lot of money. So a half a mil for one game, I'll take that in a heartbeat. Not a heartbeat, I'll take that. So yeah, so it's kind of really for them, because you're let's just say your starters, they're making good money, and some probably 10, 12 year vets. So
Mm-hmm.
the guys on the bench, half a mil, man, it's like winning the lottery, bro.
Man, I read a statistic, Ken, that like for some of them, like the two-way players, and
Uh-huh.
this will be 85% of their contract.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, 85% bonus is what they got, man. And so I'm very, very excited for that. Do you feel like this year the cup had more significance? And I want to put a caveat because I don't want people saying, man, y'all into this just because the Bucks won and blah, blah, blah. But do you feel like it has more significance? People took it more serious. People are understanding since they upped the ante with the money. Do you see this as being significant in the future?
I do, Mike. I mean, I think even last year, um, you saw players, I'm gonna say, give it a little bit more effort as far as
Mm-hmm.
the games were concerned leading up to the cup. I mean, who doesn't want to take home a half a million? I keep saying that, but a half a million for one game? Come on,
Man,
man. I'm
that's
like, dude.
serious. Yeah.
Um, you saw in the Houston OKC game, that
Mm-hmm.
was a dogfight until late into the third quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they weren't messing around. So yeah, it was more intense. I love it. I mean, it was almost like playoff basketball.
Yes, it was. Yes,
So
it was.
I think in the future, Mike, uh, it's good for the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the last
Mm-hmm.
thing I'll say about um, look at Prince. He's going back to back. He was with LA last year, with Milwaukee. So,
Hey, him and Darvin
Darvin
Ham
Ham,
both
right?
are
Yeah.
undefeated. They're 6-0 in the Emirates Cup. And so I like them odds myself, and I agree with you completely. If you're gonna put $500,000, man, this is legacy changing, right? This you can change your family's trajectory financially with half. If I was just gonna give you here, I'm gonna write you a check for $500,000.
I'll take that.
Okay. Okay. I'm definitely gonna take that and run with it. And but folks, I'm here to tell you Ken, I want to talk a little bit about as we get into, the game and everything. Man, I want to talk about the coverage that has been taking place with the Milwaukee Bucks. We know there's always been um just hate, man. I don't know what it is with the national media, Ken. I don't know what the obsession is to not recognize the Bucks, but folks, take a look at that photo.
That's a
Huh?
nice photo. That's a good
That's
picture. Yeah.
man, listen, bro. Look at, and I'm so happy for Dame because he's won individual awards, but for him to win something, in the war, in the battle with his brothers, Giannis said it best, man, that he was happy for him and how much he thought that this meant to Dame. And just some of the Giannis has got to be one of the most genuine, real superstars, man. He talks about his failures. He talks about his challenges. He said, even if we didn't win these games, we would have left a better team.
Yeah.
And so I'm really seeing his leadership. But Ken, let's talk about
But I'm gonna
Ken.
interrupt you real
Okay.
quick. So you said, you're happy for Dame. Mike, I'm gonna say I'm really happy for Doc.
Mm,
And
mm.
the reason why I say that is that, there's been this adjustment for him, getting to know the players and things like that. And they had let's just say the bad start. I think, what was it, 2-8?
2-8.
2-8. And it was like, Milwaukee, they dead,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to give Doc some credit, Mike, because, it's kind of, they flipped the switch a little bit, So you hats off to him. I hope he can continue, doing this throughout the regular season because, people were calling for Doc's head. We've talked about him, and it's like, rotation, who you starting. So, you got to give him credit.
I will definitely give Doc credit for the game plan he had going into OKC, him in the training staff. I am not convinced. I gotta see the rotation in the tight games. I have to see how he makes adjustments in the critical moments. They have Cleveland coming up. I have to see.
Friday.
Yes, I have to see more from Doc with this team. But I think it's easier for Doc now. I think he has found a combination that he feels comfortable with. Now, whether that combination includes any young players is yet to be seen.
Yeah.
But Ken, I got you can't start 2-8. You can't go through the bumps and bruises, not having Chris Middleton, not figuring out your lineup, Gary Trent not having the best of starts, Brooke Lopez not having the best of starts. You cannot do that and turn things around without great leadership. And so I'm going to give Doc credit. And I think where Doc really helped the Bucks early on doing this transition, I think, is his calmness. I just think his attitude that we're going to figure it out. We're going to get there. Because looking at the Bucks' talent, there's no way that you could ever believe that they were going to stay there. I mean, what did Kendrick Perkins say?
Oh, Mike.
Ken, let's talk about some of the haters, the Stephen A's of the world, the Kendrick Perkins. And again, I know they don't listen to this show, and I know my opinion doesn't matter, but it's not a good look because you're not objective when it comes to the way that you cover the NBA.
It's not.
And Ken, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically, oh man, it was gonna be easy.
Right. The Bucks are going to get the brakes beat off of them.
Okay.
I'm not paraphrasing. I'm just saying,
Oh,
what he said.
absolutely.
I'm just
Oh,
translating.
you try exactly. He said they're gonna go right through them, and
Right.
he made this statement, which I think deserves a national apology. This man is gonna say Oklahoma City's Thunder last night was going to have the best player in the game. It was going to be SGA. Are you serious? Like, what you smoking? Look at the dude holding up that trophy. Look at the dude that's leading the NBA. Look at the defense that Giannis SG. Now, don't get me wrong, folks. I'm in Oklahoma, right?
Right.
I'm a Bucks fan because I grew up, born and raised in Milwaukee. That's the crib. However, I love the Thunder, but there is no way. Oh, how you gonna compare SGA to say that I don't care what court they step on. I don't care if it's a court in Kenya. I don't care what court they step on. Whatever court Giannis steps on, normally Giannis is the best player on that court. Even when they play Boston, he's the best player. I don't care. Even if you look at Giannis's record against the people that they call MVP, that's another one off the list. He didn't did Joel like that. He didn't did Jokic like that. Come on, man, stop it.
But Mike, I think when we talk about hate, you figure OKC, small market town,
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee, small market town.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't have the Bostons or the LAs or Dallas, these big market teams. So you didn't get I'm gonna say you didn't get the love if LA would have been in there.
Oh, of
Or,
course not. Of
and
course not.
I just thought that's pretty sad as far as I'm concerned, because uh, no matter what team, what market it comes from, you still want to promote this game. Oh, that's just me. That's just business. That's just good business.
The
And I
the Go ahead,
go ahead.
Ken.
And I
Mm-mm.
think that small market teams don't get no love in the NBA, unfortunately.
We've always seen that, right? It's the story franchises, the LA, the Boston, the Golden State, that and even wherever Kevin's at, wherever KD is at, whether it's in Phoenix, whether it's in Golden State, well, it doesn't matter. The
Right.
press follow him around because he's just that dude. But the reality is, um, the basketball, I would say the elites of
Right.
basketball, the right now, they're getting old. And unless the NBA transitions how they view these other small market teams, you're not going to build the next fan base, because LeBron is past his prime. You
Oh
might even
man.
want to argue KD is past his prime. You might want to even argue Steph is past his prime. Like these guys are still good, but they're not what they were 10 years ago. You know what it is 10 years ago? It's the Giannis, it's the Jokic, it's the Ant-Man, it's the Halliburtons now. It's these guys that the NBA should be bringing attention to, but they're still hanging on to the old heads. Gilbert Arenas, I'm gonna bring him up. Oh, he said
Okay.
Giannis is probably gonna have 40 some, Dame gonna have 30 some, blah blah blah, and they gonna lose. Okay, see, this is what I'm trying to say. Nobody knows the future, so stop trying to be prophets. Because the only way we know a prophet is true if his prophecy comes to pass. And you guys' track record is terrible. Why are you even in talking about sports, man? It's like, I don't even think they watch the Bucks. I don't think they watch the Bucks. I honestly don't think they watch these small market teams. So when they get up there and they're talking about in a one game scenario, you have 275 greatest players in a one game scenario. I think it's going to be hard to beat Giannis. I don't care what you say. Any game 7 in a one game, Giannis is that type of player. He's on that level. He's that type of player where he can dominate one game and do what he just and we see what he's doing. He can do
Triple
that
double.
if you can. Okay. Ken, what was his numbers?
What did Giannis
Okay.
have last night?
Let's talk about it. Okay. He had 26, 19, and 10.
10 and 3 blocks. Man, come on,
Come on.
stop playing.
I'm like, hold on, man. That dude had
A triple double,
19 rebounds. Okay. He dominated the glass, man. He dominated in assists. He had 10 assists. He had 26 points. And like you say, Ken, and his block, it wasn't just like man, I believe Caruso still got a headache. Okay. What
Right.
Giannis, give me that. So you
Mm.
thought you thought you about to lay that up. Blink. He was like, he walking around. He got home, he had to put the ice pack on the head.
But Mike, let's get into this game, man, because the thing about it, I thought the teams came out a little tight
Mm-hmm.
in the first half, was 50-51 at halftime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The other, let me start on the Oklahoma side.
Okay.
Shea is a bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
A bad boy. And the thing about it is that he had a rough night shooting. Um, this happened last year in the playoffs to Oklahoma, where you know if they're, let's just trying to say, give Shea a hard time, who's going to step up for him? Who's their number two? And what are they going to do for him? And I just saw last year's playoff run for them and how it ended happen last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what they can do um, as far as get out of that. I won't say mode, but get out of that scenario. It just seems like if Shea is not working, who gonna step up? I mean, you in Oklahoma, Mike. What's been the? I mean, I would say what's been the kind of the talk down there.
Well, I mean, Thunder fans are a lot like, and if my Oklahoma folks listen, they gonna get mad at me when I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. They're a lot like the OU fans. And OU football has been such a
Oh,
powerhouse that if they lose one or two games, it's
so
massive disappointment. And I think looking at Thunder fans, that it was great constellation, Ken. I was just reading some of the posts and how devastated they were. And then the counter argument, you're always going to have the fan that says, well, it doesn't matter anyway. The game doesn't count. It's not this way. Well, I think $500,000 matters. I'm just saying. And I think them boys wanted to win it. Let me say this. So I think this is a learning, even for the fans. It was a learning. I thought this was a really good learning experience for the Thunder because it exposed their weaknesses. And if they can fix those moving forward, then guess what? You're going to be looking at them in the finals because they are an excellent defensive team.
Oh yeah,
Shea is definitely a top 5-6 player in the league. I'm not going as far as saying that he should be runner. I know he's second now for runner up for the MVP, but don't listen, man. Ken, this is what I say to people when people talk to me about superstars. Superstars always show up. Superstars always show up. They always impact the game. You don't get down. This has been a criticism of LeBron, saying that he's the GOAT, because when it comes down to this one game, we got to get it done. Superstars step up, even if they're having a bad shooting game. Let's be honest. He didn't have a bad shooting game because he was just off. Okay, we can keep saying that, right? And Shea, even when he was asked, he said, yeah, he played good defense, but I think it was more me. Wrong answer. It was not. It was just not Ajax that was on him, which he played in an amazing defensive game on him.
He did.
Man, listen, Ken, he picked him up. He picked him up as soon as they took the ball. 95 feet, he picked him up. He hounded him. Everyone was physical with him. They hounded him. Ken, when you said this was a repeat of Dallas, it exactly was. That's what Dallas did.
Yeah, right.
Dallas said, everybody, if you're going to beat us, it's not going to be SGA.
Exactly.
That's the weakness that the Thunder have, in the fact that SGA, he needs a sidekick. Now, some people will say that's Chet Holmgren. I don't believe that.
No, I don't
believe Chet is a great player. They need, in my opinion, they need better three-point shooting, and they need a big guy. And they also need a guy that can go get his own bucket. Everybody thought that was going to be Jay Will, and Jay Will looks good. Yeah, Ken, he looks good at times, yet we know what happened in the last playoff series with Dallas. He didn't play up to the level that he needs to. He's a young player. Can we expect that out of him? I don't believe we can. They have so many picks, first round picks, this, that, and the other thing. They need to go out, because let me tell you something. If the formula is out to beat OKC, it's out there. If you big, you're long, and you can pressure SGA, get him out of his rhythm.
Right.
You got them. even with Chet back, I don't think that's going to make a big difference because Chet, who was, let's just take the Bucks. Who was Chet going to hold? You going to hold Giannis?
Giannis, probably.
Come on. Okay.
Well, we know
Giannis would
that.
have had 50. And I heard people argue, man, they should have put Hardenstein on him. What?
Man, stop.
Okay. Listen, it's
Okay.
just not, that's just not a good matchup. So, Ken, I'm in agreement with you. The Thunder have to make some moves because if they can, at some time in the course of a series, of a season, you're going to hit some cold spots. You're not going to be hitting shots. How do you win? And the Thunder have yet to show us a different formula. Now, the formula they have for winning, dude, if FGA can go to work and Jay Will can do his thing, and their defense is, their defense is outstanding, they gonna cook you. If they can't hit shots, you make it difficult. You get physical with SGA, Jay Will. Where do they go from there? So, Ken, I think for them, it really, if I'm sitting in, I'm disappointed, but I'm also thankful because I know right now what we need to do to compete at the highest level, and we have the pieces to go out there and trade and do this. I just don't know who's available.
Well, let me speak on Williams. I mean, Mike, I mean, there was rumors that he was on the trading block in this past summer. I mean, trying to, but the thing about him is that, either he is on or he's off. It's one or the other. There's no in between or no consistency. I put it that way. I mean, I like him as a player, but you have to sometimes take over the game, and that's just not him yet. Maybe that happened, down his career, but I don't see any. Where's the number 2 at?
That is the challenge for OKC. And I thought, getting back to Doc Rivers and the coaching staff and the team, they executed it well. They blitzed him. They made it difficult. They threw bodies at him, and he could never get his rhythm going. He came out, hit his first couple of shots, and I thought, well,
Okay, right.
I thought it was gonna, but see, I never thought the Thunder would win that game. I thought the only way they would win that game if the Bucks could not hit. I thought if the Bucks went cold, it was going to be close because Giannis going to keep you in the game. In a game like that, you're not going to blow the Bucks out in a 7-game or 1-game cup. You're just not going to happen because this dude's will to win and to put it all on the line and to make how many crucial plays did him and Dame make? Dame hit that 3 against Orlando. They're not even here.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
But see, Ken, that's what superstars do, man. That's what these dudes do. You have to completely take them out. And if you don't have the weapons on the other side, Ken, think about it like this. When we look at the team stats, okay, when we talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder going 5 for 32 from 3. Now, this is where one would say, man, you got to start going to the hole or shoot some 8 to 10 footers. The problem is when you go that cold, you know what the defense does? It don't even guard you. It don't even guard you. So what they do, they clog the middle. So what happened? When they clog the middle, that's SGA's space.
Right. That's
and so not being able to hit threes just transformed the game in a way that the Thunder could not win. Yeah. But Ken, what does it say about a team that continues to shoot threes even though you are missing them?
Well, that's I won't even say it's a trend. That's just how NBA basketball is played, Mike, right now. I mean, you figure that, they're looking at, let me get back in this game, and it's going to be a 3 every time you go down the court. To me, that's just bad basketball. I'll say this. I'm a piggyback on, you talked about Jackson as far as his defense on SGA. I think he made it tough for him. The only thing, the side piece of that, Mike, is that he has to start hitting open jumpers, Mike. He has to, or they're just gonna leave him alone. But I know he's young, he's developing this game, so hey.
That that is the Achilles heel, and what the antidote, because in a few games I've seen teams come out, don't even guard him, double up on Dame, double up on Giannis. They're not hitting shots. The antidote to that is what happened against OKC. They came out, they hit threes. Now, can you leave Prince alone?
No.
No. Okay. Can you leave AJ Green alone? No. Right? Even Bobby came out and hit his first three. When that happens, you have to say, I don't necessarily want to leave, because what's happening is you're gonna leave Ajax open for a layup. If you trying to double everybody else and playing off him, he's athletic enough to get. He did have some decent assists.
Yeah.
One thing I will say that I like what he did, even though he was 1 for 6, he took the shots within the floor of the offense.
Oh, right.
And that's what needs to happen. You notice, Ken, sometimes he's got a shot, he don't take it.
I know, he's hesitant.
That throws your flow, throws your spacing off, throws your next action off. You have to take the shot, and I was glad to see him do that. I think he'll get a more comfortable offensively, because he's got athleticism, he's got skills. But yeah, that's gonna be that. Okay, let me say this: it's gonna be less of a problem when Chris is back and fully healthy. Okay,
but let me say something else on the Bucks side. I'll say Lopez had a good all around game. I just think that they still need to get someone as far as a backup center. They have to, Mike. You just never know, with him having that back surgery about 2 years ago.
I agree.
Just never know if that's going to be recurring or if it's, it's kind of up in the air.
But man, it's so, the Bucks, one problem with Doc having such a short rotation, we'll say, 8-player rotation, 7-8 players rotation. Even if you wanted to trade these guys, they haven't got out there, like Marjan haven't got out there and showed you anything. So what would a team be interested in him for? Right? The same thing with Pat Connaughton. His time has been almost diminished to nothing, right?
Right.
And so what assets do you have to trade? If Platt was out there playing well and playing good, and Marjan was coming off the bench doing his thing, you might have some assets. But the way it's looking, Ken, I don't with the new CBA, I don't know what the Bucks, I don't know what they can do. But you're not going to get, I'm not going to say you're not going to get a quality big man, because there got to be guys out there that's available. But I notice when Brook is not on the court, it's a big difference, man. It depends on what lineup it is. If it's a smaller lineup, it's okay. But a bigger lineup, when Brook is not on, it's a big deal for the Bucks, man. When Giannis is in that 5 and he's struggling down there to rebound, and him and Bobby are matched up, that's a very difficult position for them. About the key asset they have, which I think they would be foolish to get rid of him, would be the people's champ, Bobby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you just Bobby does too. Bobby did not have a great shooting game. I think he only had 5 points, but Bobby has some key assists where he hit some people open. I think he hit Dame one time with open with a nice that changed the momentum that stopped OKC from going on a run. So Bobby, we've had games where Bobby have had 13, 14 rebounds. I just think Bobby Portis is that dude that we've seen where folks been struggling, and Bobby then came in and gave you 25. So
he had 9 rebounds and 3 assists last night. So
I will take that. With the way the Bucks were shooting, you didn't need his shot making last night.
He was plus 13.
So I don't know, Ken. I agree with you. I think having a backup big guy is what the Bucks should be looking at. I don't know. Maybe someone just to clog the middle to give Brook, 3 or 4, 2-3 minute break here and there.
Right. Yeah. I think Mike, as far as the game was concerned, the Bucks played a good game. They shot well from the three, about 42%.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is with them, they have to be, let's just say, in continuing the regular season, they have to be more consistent as far as that movement. They moved the ball around really well last night. Dame had a good game. Giannis was just, triple double. You can't ask them more for that. I think that you just have to get the other role players more involved so they feel comfortable. A guy like AJ, a little hesitant, but a young guy, but he played well last night, even though he didn't shoot well. So,
man, some of them threes that AJ Green hit over Hardenstein. Dude, Hardenstein was draped all over him. He was fading away, man. I was like, oh man, that he might be the biggest surprise of the whole Bucks season. Like I
got you
never,
that.
and Ken, not just his 3-point shooting, because him and Prince are in the top 5 in 3-point shooting percentage in the league. So that's something to be celebrated. But man, that dude locked down on defense, bro.
Yeah, he's getting much better as far as D is concerned. You can see that he's been working on it, and
Man.
Coming over a lot of picks. So yeah, he's a great improvement. I'll put it that way.
Well, I can tell you what, teams are not looking at him like he the weak link out there.
Right.
I can tell you that right now. He was on SGA, man. I've seen him hold Tatum. I've seen him. I mean, he is working hard on defense, man, and I respect that about him. And he, like I say, he hit some big shots. Man, talk a little bit about Gary Trent Jr., man.
Man, Mike. I'm glad you brought him up. Had a solid game, Mike. As far as I'm concerned, he's a sleeper, Mike. For the Bucks to go far, he has to play well. That's just the bottom line. As far as my opinion, played about 21 minutes last night, 13 points, got some open threes, and that's what Gary does. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they need to, I'll just say, utilize him more because he can stroke it, Mike. I mean, with the best of them. So,
man, I was like, that is the Gary Trent I remember.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Like, I'm just going to hurt you. Right. And man, he hurt them with, how many points did Gary have?
13.
Okay. Those 13 points hurt. Because I'm telling you, he hit some timely buckets, man. Like, I was like, he was letting it fly. And I'm like, that's what I want to see from Gary.
Exactly.
Man, shoot that thing, bro, because that's part of your game. That's a big part of your game. We know that you're scrappy on defense. We understand that. But what we need from you in those moments where you're wide open, man, that one he came down and put him up by 20. That was it.
That's right. Yeah.
That was it. He just pulled up. Bam. I was like, oh,
right.
It's like,
that's what I want to see from Gary. Man.
I was like, yeah, it's over, dog. I don't care. I don't care what time it is, man. Y'all in trouble, man. And Gary had an outstanding game, man. Like you say, Dame just continues, man, to impress me with his adjustments. Because let's be honest, Giannis has made some adjustments as far as passing the ball. This has been a bigger adjustment for Dame. Dame is playing off the ball. Dame is working harder on defense. And I think Dame only had 12 shots. I think he only had 12 shots.
Yeah, 6 for 12.
Okay, 23 points on 12 shots. Okay? So Dame had 12. This people don't understand. He had 12. He hit 5 threes. He had 12 shots. Dame Lillard coming from Portland. Man, when was the last time Dame had 12 shots?
You're right.
Okay, let's keep it real. Dame is up around 20, 25. easily
Right.
average. Okay, but it's showing you just how he's fit his role, how he's understood his opportunities, and he's making the best of them. He's not forcing anything. And dude, man, like I say, he is running the team well. The relationship between him and Giannis, man, seems to be at an all-time high. The love is there, the connectedness is there. And let me tell you something, bro. We about to see something with these boys because they figured something out here in the last month or so. They figured out that, again, like they talked about, we can trust one another now.
Oh, yeah.
We connected now. You can see them on defense, how they're rotating, how they're moving, how they're talking, and they're anticipating how their teammates are going to respond and react in certain situations. And I can, if folks don't, this was not like you hear some people say, well, what does this mean? Does this mean more for the Bucks and more for the Thunder? I think it matters to them both,
Oh,
because I think
definitely.
for the Bucks, it showed them all the work, believing in the new coach Bucks defense, believing in his defense, believing in each other. It has shown them that this is what type of level of success. For OKC, it's like, okay, we see where we need to improve. If we can do that, then OKC is going to be a team to reckon with.
Oh, yeah.
And so Oklahoma City fans, Thunder fans, man, stop it. Yes, I mean, I understand being disappointed, because if it had been OKC playing anybody else, I would have been in OKC's camp, man. I got, you know what I'm saying? I'm here. I got to show love for the folks here, for all of the teams here. I would have been in their camp, and I would have been disappointed, but I would not have been like, like we need to, what we need to, what we need to do. No, we need a few more pieces, because we just got exposed. And that's okay, because it's early in the season, man. We got like 50
Oh,
games
man.
left.
Man, almost, well, I'll say a lifetime, but
But folks, take a look at that picture. That picture. They said picture is worth what, Ken?
1,000 words.
1,000 words, man. And I'm here to tell you, the Bucks deserve it. The Bucks deserve the championship. They deserve the recognition, and they deserve to respect, to be back in that conversation.
Right.
And stop hating on them. Stop hating. What you hating on Giannis for?
Okay, Perk.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. What you hating on Giannis? I don't get it, man. Like, these dudes are out here trying to compete, man, and analyze the game. Don't worry about, get rid of your own personal opinions and all this other kind of crazy stuff that you throw in there. And and you see the ESPN odds, man. The Bucks have the 10th odds to win the championship.
But Mike, this will be my last thing, but I think the Bucks play better when they're underdogs than they do when, let's just say, if they were lead, number one in the conference or anything like that. So, I like where they at right now. It seems like not seems like, but they are playing much better than they did when they started off, and that's a good thing. So we'll see what happens on, the upcoming game on Friday. They play Cleveland. See if they can get a win there and keep it moving.
So Ken, give us that last word on what you think is going to happen Friday versus the Cavaliers.
I think the Bucks will win on Friday. I think that momentum coming out of the game yesterday, I think teams have to find their groove, and I think Milwaukee, going through, let's just say, that valley that they went through earlier in the season, made them a little tougher. And so we just have to see, if that can result in just getting, let's just say, farther in the playoffs for them. So,
well, folks, you heard it from Ken. We expected a victory. And we'll see, like you say, Ken. Hopefully this will propel them to to compete at the highest level when it comes playoff season. But we got a lot of season left. So let's enjoy the season. Let's not,
Right.
you know what I'm
We're not
saying?
even at the All-Star break.
Exactly. So let's enjoy the season. And we probably gonna have to Ken talk about the new All-Star thing, which is just I don't know, man. Make me wanna I don't know what it make me want to do, but they don't make me want to do a whole lot.
Nah.
But Ken, you're right, brother. Hopefully the momentum will do it. And folks, as we always say, the world of sports unites us. Let us take this unity into our everyday life. This is why they play the game.